Keo here from Stomp USA. Most of my life I've played in amplified bands. I kind of grew up in a rock band and then later had a funk band and then a blues band, and I've done other things, musicals and big band gigs and the typical thing that trumpet players will do. But I would say that the bulk of my playing, and certainly the bulk of where I made any money, was playing in amplified bands. And I realized years ago that they were pretty loud and that they were dangerous as far as your hearing was concerned. And in the last 10 years or so, I've actually done some studying about it, maybe 15 years, learned a little bit more about it. And sound exposure is very much like going outside in the sun. You can go outside in the sun on a bright sunny day, and if you spend a short period of time, you're fine. If you spend a really long period of time, your exposure to the sun and the ultraviolet rays is too much, and that's when you can burn and hurt yourself. And if you're out long enough, you can really get sun poisoning or anything like that. Well, sound does the same thing, and you can only have so much sound exposure over time, like going out into the sun, before it becomes dangerous. Sound pressure level is measured in decibels. And the rule of thumb is you can have 85 decibels of sound exposure for 8 hours and be safe. And then I believe you're supposed to have a rest of, I think it's a 12-hour rest before you do it again. The problem with us as trumpet players is the environment that we are in is extremely loud. It's much louder than we think. And for every 6 decibel increase in sound volume, sound pressure, it basically doubles the volume. Rule of thumb, some people say 8 decibels, but from the physics, if I recall correctly, it's 6 decibels. Well, a company by the name of Eddie Modix, who makes all kinds of great earplugs, they publish this little scale thing here, and it does show you that, sure enough, at 85 decibels, you can have 8 hours of exposure to be safe. The problem is a trumpet and the instruments around us get loud really fast. And a trumpet can get as loud as, 110, 120 decibels, which is a lot, okay? A lot. And when you get the sound pressure up that loud, as the scale shows you, at 118 decibels playing right at you, you've only got less than 15 seconds of safe exposure. So if you've got a lead trumpet player, you're a trombone player, and you got a lead trumpet player behind you blowing into the back of your head, you're getting dangerous sound pressure levels very, very high. Well, I learned this danger a number of years ago, as I mentioned, and I started wearing earplugs. I went to a hearing aid place where they make multi-ear ears. It's much more common today. And then you can buy these different earplugs, filters that go in there that can knock down the decibel level by 15, 25 dBs. And so for about 20 years I've been wearing these plugs when I play in any kind of amplified environment. And I recommend that every trumpet player, actually every musician, do the same thing. If you want to have good hearing when you get older, because you can get your hearing damaged pretty darn quick. And once it's gone, at least today, it's not coming back. So the complaint that everyone has, and I had it as well, was that it's hard to play. You put the earplugs in and it doesn't sound right, it doesn't feel right, it's hard to play the trumpet. The trick that I learned is when you get earplugs, and you don't have to spend a lot of money on the custom ones like I did. Eddie Modix actually makes some that are only about $15 that are really, really good. They're generic, they'll help you out a lot, and they're certainly better than not using anything. So the trick to this whole thing is to put the plugs in about an hour before you're going to play. And what happens is you kind of get used to hearing the world at this lower volume level, and then when you go to play the trumpet, it's not as difficult. And after you've done that for a little while, you'll get comfortable with it, you'll get very good at it, and then you can just pop them in right before you play and you'll be comfortable. But I highly, highly recommend you get some earplugs and start playing them. Or if you go to an International Trumpet Guild conference or any loud event, a major concert or whatever, bring plugs in and wear them at least part of the time, because hearing's really important. Have a nice day.